We are happy to introduce you today to the 5 resident artists in government who are part of our Capital Region Creative Corps program. So to remind you, Capital Region Creative Corps is part of a statewide campaign funded by the California Arts Council as an outreach, communications, and engagement program designed to increase awareness around public health, civic engagement, social justice, community engagement, climate mitigation, and emergency preparedness. The work is extraordinary and diverse, and I encourage you all to go to our Creative Corps website and check them all out. All the projects are there illustrated. But this afternoon, we are here to feature one unique factor of our program, and that's the 5 artists hired to work in positions in city departments and offices. I want to thank the California Arts Council for providing this vital opportunity. And I really want to thank the 5 city departments that took a leap of faith and said yes to bringing an artist onto their staff. I think you're going to see today the fruits of their collaborations in their presentations. So now I'm going to hand it over to our first artist, who is Angie.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you so much for inviting us artists to present our projects. So my name's Angie Ng, and I worked in long-range planning with the Neighborhood Development Action Team, a wonderful group of people. With the beginning of my tenure with the city, I was working on workshop tools toward education campaigns on affordable housing, infill development, the ADU toolkit, and missing middle. So for the first 4 or 5 months, we were doing these workshop tools, and I thought to myself, if I want to have more impact and leave behind more inspiration on how art can be a tool for social change, and in this case, civic engagement, I really needed to demonstrate to the staff how art can be impactful. So I thought, what could we do to promote intergenerational living and also lead the community to the resources that we've provided to the community on their website? So I came up with a campaign called Yes to Granny. And Yes to Granny was basically, instead of a political campaign for a candidate, it would be for our aging population. So Yes to Granny was going to be a political demonstration, but it wasn't a political demonstration. It was an art performance that we did at the farmers market, in the Midtown Farmers Market just last Saturday with the community engagement ambassadors, where we would be the spotlight and start engaging with the community, starting a dialogue and passing out merch like stickers. We were wearing the t-shirts and passing out pamphlets on infill development campaign. Here's our signs. And I'm going to do a short exercise with the commissioners because we're talking about engagement. So we're going to do a quick callback. So when I say yes, all of you are going to say to Granny. Can we do that exercise really quickly? All right. When I say yes, you say to Granny. Yes.
To Granny.
Yes.
To Granny.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to hand it to you.
Hello. My name is Ember DeBoer. And during my year with the city, I have had the pleasure of working with the community engagement team in the Office of Innovation and Economic Development. My community and all the information that residents needed, I created the monthly Common Sense Zine. I'll pass them out to you after this is done. In order to combat the overflow of information and lack of credibility residents are bombarded with on the internet. An 8-page mini booklet with a full-size poster on the back aimed at empowering residents to be engaged socially, civically, or to seek opportunities for their own ideas in our community. Home that are unproductive and recreational. Another project was Sustainability is Blank. That was an activation at Artivio Guerrero Park in tandem with the Office of Climate Action and Sustainability and Tanir's work and the Earth Day beautification projects. I took chalk and stencils to the park to create an interactive learning experience for park goers, encouraging kids and parents to explore animal footprints and questions about sustainability. Blank slots were left for people to respond and tell us what sustainability means to them, while being asked to consider their own footprint and the impact it has, adding a layer of magic and learning to an everyday place.
Good afternoon, Commission. My name is Taner Pashamametoğlu. Thank you for the opportunity to share today. I had the privilege of working with the Office of Climate Action and Sustainability in the Department of Public Works.
There you go.
Cool. Awesome. During the first week of this residency, I was provided a draft of the city's Climate Action and Adaptation Plan. An
That's very
extensive,
informative, thank you.
it's an extensive document, as you can see, heavy with text, data, and policy recommendations. The document inspired me to think about how to make this valuable information more accessible and actionable for the public. Not everything we developed made it into the presentation, but I think this exercise went a long way in demonstrating the value of storytelling in even some of the most data-driven parts of this work. Further into this residency, I realized that visualizing data and opportunities was great, but doesn't do much if we lose sight about what this is all about, our people. I was intentional about engaging with a wide array of people and uncovering diverse perspectives. I got to meet Pamela, an Oak Park resident who recently had several energy-efficient upgrades in her home to make things more comfortable for her and her mom, who she takes care of. To her, sustainability wasn't about saving the environment or reaching carbon neutrality. It was much simpler than that. It was about family. I think she put it best when she said, sustainability is obligation rightly met, not at anybody else's expense. Her insights reinforce the idea that our outreach should be grounded in individual experiences and needs. I'm hopeful it will inspire others to explore their creative potential and embrace sustainability. In closing, while I'm proud of the work I was able to complete, I am equally as proud of the foundations we have all set to hopefully continue integrating artists into this important civic work. I'm confident the impact of our work can be measured, but more importantly, I know it's been felt. Thank you again. And I'll pass it to Jessica.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Wimbley, and I work with youth parks and community enrichment. And let me tell you, when I first came to the department, of course, all of us are familiar with parks. We understand that we have beautiful green spaces in our city to enjoy. But being an artist working with government, one of the things I started to learn was about the ecosystem of the government, all the different components, the size of the department, the amount of work that everyone does, and how well of an oiled machine it has to be to work efficiently. And I was really moved by the work that was happening at Hart Senior Center. They really are able to focus on different social determinants of health. I was really moved by the life history, writing, and poetry program. Now, one of the things I'm looking at in terms of thinking about creative placemaking, again, is where's creativity happening? And you have this program that has a 30-year history that's documenting the diversity of Sacramento residents and their experiences here in Sacramento. We really were thinking about how this work was important to social justice in terms of the perspectives and the stories that you were hearing. You're hearing stories about what people were experiencing in internment camps, what Sacramento looked like during different points during redlining. You're looking at people's families' history during war, but also migrating here and making their way here through Sacramento. So a diverse group of stories are so important about our history. That this is really important for mental health. It's really important to share the stories, to have witnesses, to be able to commune and be in community. So this isn't just, I don't want you to think of it as just as a class. This is a community of creative folks who are an important part to Sacramento's legacy. One of the things that we worked with the community was thinking about what are the different ways you want to be reflected and represent a neighborhood in the community? And you have a lot of people engaged in planting and farming and gardening who are a part of the community, have a garden tour that happens. And so one of the ways to reflect the community, not only thinking of the plant life, but also the people, was looking at the actual gardens that they have and the flowers from their actual gardens and creating a design that reflects the nature that's in the environment that they're creating and contributing to.
Greetings, everybody. How are you, everybody?
You still hanging in there with our presentation?
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
My name is Melissa Muganzo, and my pronouns are she, they, and sis. And I got the opportunity to work in transportation planning with my favorite person in the world, JDW, also known as Jennifer Dolan Wyatt. And I actually ended up learning about all the ways that I did not know what was available out there. And the numerous engagement events that I got to capture, I got to see all of the stakeholders and all of the people that are doing extremely good work in the community on putting together scripts. As someone that is a showrunner and an actor and a producer, is getting to storytell. And storytelling is so important because you get the opportunity to put together history in real time for people that are no longer with us and people that are desperately trying to make a difference and people who feel like their voices aren't heard. And in doing so, I met thousands of people that were out there that were trying to get their voices heard. People that utilize bicycles every day, people that utilize walkers, people that utilize wheelchairs, people that utilize just walking the different biking trails that are out there, people that also use the light rail for daily work and community needs, and also things like grocery pickup and delivery. And it made me realize that not only do I get the honor to put visuals on that for people, but I also get to leave a legacy of hope and show the countless hours of work that my team is putting together in writing grants and making sure that people feel seen and heard. And there are also people that are actively waiting for you to speak up on behalf of them because they don't have the courage to do so. So we want to thank you all so much for supporting us. All of us, although we are artists, also serve as cultural activists and cultural bearers to help tell stories of people that are not able to. So thank you all so much for your time, and I'll pass it over to Richard Falco.
But I'm so glad to be here and share with you these wonderful Sacramento artists. Give it up and for yourselves as commissioners. And I want to touch on what Melissa ended with, and that phrase of do it first afraid and then with confidence. Because if not for the confidence of Megan, if not for the confidence of Melissa, if not for the confidence of Jason, this particular project would not have been considered as part of something that Sacramento is taking the lead in, and that is putting artists in government. And so there are many, many press articles that you could take a look at to learn more about what we have been doing. Our website that you can go take a look at to find out about the 26 awardees that also participated in projects throughout Solano, Yolo, Sacramento, El Dorado, and Alpine County. We have spent a considerable amount of labor and finance into producing wonderful things that, if only, we could keep it going, and that's where you all come in.
First of all, thank you so much for sharing your awesome projects and for doing all of that work. I'm feeling so inspired even for the projects I'm working on, so thank you so much.
Having collaborative people within the city is a huge first step. But I think one thing that I was able to demonstrate is, especially in grant applications, I touched on this a little bit in my remarks, but for grant applications, the Sustainability Office, they rely heavily on grants as well to fund the things they're trying to do. And so they need to be very competitive when they're applying for grants. And one way to kind of be more competitive is in those community engagement parts of the grant application that seem pretty prevalent and seem to have quite a bit of weight to them. And so if you can demonstrate in your grant application that you're going to do more than just go to city events and table and hand out flyers, but you can actually integrate with people and find really interesting and creative ways to build infrastructure, to build creativity into those communities and not just show up and give your talking points and leave, then I think that really sets you up to win more grants. And I hope that that's something that continues, whether it's me or other artists. I hope that my team can feel empowered now to seek more creative perspective in their grant application.
Your question about the sustainability of the program once we're gone. And that's what I was thinking about at month 5. And so when I did the art walk, I said to the planning staff, okay, which staff are going to be involved, because I'm going to train you so that you can continue it. Also, the Planning Academy alumni were involved because these are leaders in the community. And I said to them at the end, please replicate it, borrow from it, combine it with your historic walk. Please use it. So this was the point of the art walk. It's not attached to me. It's actually a tradition. It's like a 100-year-old tradition as well. Yeah, close your eyes and listen to the sounds. Close your eyes and smell around you. or, maybe just a set of cards in the historical tour can get people to interact. So I'm hoping that it inspires them, and it really is up to the supervisors to say, hey, let's like up the ante and, borrow from the artist.
So I feel like one of the ways that we'll be able to sustain in the department is realize it takes about a year to build familiarity and comfort around putting artists and artistry and creativity in a system that is very structured and sometimes leaves no room to think outside of this very black and white textured box. And also finding new ways to communicate with the community you are trying to help. Because if me as an artist who is excited about coming into government and is willing to learn these acronyms is still having a hard time, I can only imagine the people that were here trying to help, trying to understand the language, even listening to this meetings of what are they saying. We just know something got approved, something got passed, but what is that, and how does that directly impact me as someone that cares? So I think that will live on.
The zine is something that anyone on the community engagement team could take up if they want it. It would not look the same as my zines, but that is okay because the zine is information. I designed it to be monthly so that it would keep people up to date on monthly things and condense it. 2 short sentences. What is this? Why does it matter to me? Because that's the only bandwidth people have. I was astounded by how many months it took me for me to get uploaded on paid time. It took me paid time to get uploaded and understand how this local body of government works. And I thought about all the people who feel like they barely have time to show up for an hour. Propelling forward motion by letting people know about things before they're over. Something I've noticed in my time in Sacramento is silos are really damaging to supporting local opportunities. When we don't know about things ahead of time, we can't support them. And it takes so much energy to do something once. We're so lucky if it happens twice. So the zine was an effort to take better advantage of the quality of our existing culture in Sacramento and to create something that hopefully the community engagement team feels bold enough to do themselves.
In terms of thinking about what can we do in a year? Because a year is a good time to learn. And if you can squeeze in time, you're able to try something and test it. So in my thinking, it usually takes 3 years of learning, testing it out, fixing and making things, making it better and tweaking to really get something kind of indoctrinated or integrated into the habit, the culture, or within departments. So I think in terms of being a part of the creative core and the time that myself and my cohort had, we had a short amount of time to accomplish a lot. And I think a lot of that work was about learning and building infrastructure. And so for thinking about the Sacramento room, part of what I was looking at is how you can leverage relationships and resources that the city has to help build scaffolding that helps to build a program or event that can be sustained, because it's totally not contingent on me. It's contingent on the senior stories. It's contingent on the Sacramento room documenting and archiving them and holding them. So it's not so much contingent on me solely, and I don't want it to be.
Anyway, and what I really liked is the history that you're teaching, social justice history. It's what others might dismiss as critical race theory, but it's still part of that greater mission of inclusion. So
everything that you guys did, I could see my kids in your guys' plans. And what especially spoke out to me the most was sustainability, right? The sustainability starts with us. That means that I'm included in that us part, and everything that you guys did was very family level for me. Like even this, I'm like, oh, I'm about to do this zine too with my kids. So that's cute. That's really cute. I just want to say I appreciate your guys' work on the level from the people, from the ground, right? Because I often think that the city comes from the top, and it takes ground level people to actually touch who we're really trying to get a hold of, and which is, for me, it's always my family. So I can see my kids in all of these plans that you guys are doing. So you guys are doing an awesome job.
First of all, I hope everyone opens the zine and sees this amazing poster. It says City Council, the street address, and how to even enter the building. It should be plastered all over around the building. And I hope you have an opportunity to present to City Council. I think the City Council should hear this, because this really is an innovative way to influence and change and make much more efficient and inclusive, as Cruz was saying, city government. We all know ways that it needs to do better, and what better way than having artists come in and help the city. So thank you. Again, thank you so much, and I hope that there's ways to continue this program. My gosh, it's wonderful.
Now, I just wanted to add to the accolades, the months of hard work and just the resulting contributions that the 5 of you have given to our community is a gift. It shows the power of arts and creativity, and when you trust in the vision of artists and you give them the tools and resources to make their visions a reality, anything is possible. I want to just commend you all on that, and to also acknowledge one last time your ringleader and project coordinator for this, Richard Falcone on staff, who has done a tremendous job. Of course, under Melissa's direction and in partnership with the rest of our staff and departments throughout the city. Can't thank you enough. Again, for those who might have missed it, it was on the screen just a brief moment. It is capitalcreatives.org, and that's the website. And you can go to that site, bookmark it, learn more about the program in our city and all of the Creative Core organizations that we've supported with the help of the California Arts Council. So thank you all.